Hello everyone, and welcome to another Roll for Distraction Developer Showcase, our spin-off series where we play one-shots of TTRPGs brought to us by their designers. My name is Alex Vigna, and I am joined here today by my good friends Alex H., Alan, and Mitchell. Real quick before I turn it over to our guest GM, if it's your first time here, be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch our other actual plays right here on this same channel. We've played lots of different systems, so there's something for everyone, and drop a like and comment to help out the channel. And now I'd like to welcome today's guest GM, Kamala Kara Arroyo, to run a one-shot of her game, We Dig Giant Robots, which is certainly a true statement about this YouTube channel. Kamala, I'll turn it over to you now. Introduce yourself to the people and tell us about the game we're playing today.
Hello, I'm Kamala. I've been working on tabletop games for a while. My first big game before this was Friendship Effort Victory. That was the Shonen Jump PBTA game, and so this is my second release with Far Horizon and Cooperative. And We Dig Giant Robots is a lighthearted mecha game focused on one-shots. It's something that, as we'll actually go through, the goal is something where if your main game isn't happening that week, you can just play this instead. You know, someone doesn't show up, happens to me a lot actually. in a campaign I was just running, we had that a lot. Scheduling
is the true villain.
And that this is one of the many great games that exist to try to fill that gap in schedules. So, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, great, looking forward to it. So tell us about, what are we up against?
One of the biggest inspirations, the main inspiration, and if you've seen the art for the book, you probably will be able to assume this was Megas XLR, a cartoon that used to air on Cartoon Network, lasted about 2 seasons. It was a lighthearted mecha show, Monster of the Week format, about a guy from Jersey who finds a giant robot in his junkyard. So the game takes inspiration from that and all the players, unless they choose a special player character type, are playing the hooligans, who are just pilots who find the mech one day that fell back from the future, that has a lot of armaments and special contraptions built in, and every session some new monster comes in that causes them trouble that they have to stop. So we actually haven't decided yet on what the villain is. I thought we could roll that up and go for the inciting incident table and everything like that. One big goal of the game was that you really wouldn't need anything too complicated. I do love dice. I love dice, but I wanted this one to be very easy for anyone who wants it. So it just uses at most 2 dice. It's inspired mechanically by Teenagers from Outer Space by Mike Pondsmith and Ryo Kamiya's Made RPG. So it uses D6 for most of the resolution mechanics, and then for the tables it uses either D6 or a D66, which are pretty common in Japanese role-playing. It essentially tries to... Basically, it's like you ever roll D100. It's the same thing with 2 6-sided dice.
I just looked up the cast on the Cartoon Network show, and that is a stacked cast. That looks so cool.
It was an underrated gem.
A lot of 2000s anime actors in it.
It's got Bruce Campbell and Mr. Krabs and Rita Lyle. We got all the good ones. Thanks.
Now, the way we roll everything up pretty straightforward is that there's just a series of tables going through a type of villain, their plan, what that plan means based on their type. So goes through, you just go through the table. It gives you pretty much there's only 3 stats for the villain, so it gives you pretty much every possible stat combo you roll in this D6 for that. It tells you with the qualities, which if you ever played Fate Core, it's similar to Aspects and Knacks, which are just basically quick little skills. So the goal is that you can very quickly make the villain. It even gives you conditions and why that will matter, because I don't know how... I assume everyone read up a bit on it, or unless I should be explaining the mechanics too. Conditions are...
Not so much for us, but for the audience, right? It's the developer showcase. We want you to tell us about the game, get a little nerdy with it, skim through mechanical stuff, as you go.
So the conditions are the main way that everything gets resolved, because this isn't going to be like a traditional RPG where you're just beating people up and trying to knock down their HP to 0, or some equivalent therein, harm, stress, whatever your game calls it, because this one is more narrative based. The villain's going to have 3 conditions, and these conditions are sort of narrative goals your character has to meet to sort of defeat them. You don't know what they are, so you both have to figure them out, and then you have to make them solved within the narrative. You have to come up with a solution that succeeds to stop it. So if they have some sort of power source giving them strength, you're going to have to find a way to cut them off from that. And once those 3 things are done, the final one should be what finally takes the villain out. The game actually progresses a bit in stages, which is pretty common, I found, in games that are going for this kind of like sit-down, one-shot kind of thing, is that it has some sort of structure to it. You have your inciting incident, you have your messing around period right after the inciting incident stops. Then we start moving into the climax when the villain finally appears. So it's, I guess in a way, almost like a truncated episode arc structure to it, just something that keeps everything flowing through.
Right, which makes sense if you're trying to make it a one-shot. You want people to make sure they wrap up in their couple of hours they have.
Yeah, I guess I'll roll up the villain now, and
roll them up.
As we go through, I guess I'll just explain the basic mechanics of the character, of playing the game.
Yep, go for it.
Alternate universe duplicate. Oh, okay. That was an interesting one.
Great.
So
this should be amazing.
So the villains are going to be alternate versions of everyone here.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh my god, is she wearing colors? Ew.
So the only question then is, should I pick one of you or everybody? Like, what if one of you were from a
Don't tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just roll a dice. Odds are even.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Odds or evens, whatever you got to do, or just decide when it comes up. But
Okay. All right. I'm having ideas solidifying here. Then the next part is, based on the type you just rolled, you then go to a table that's appropriate for it, and I'll tell you what their plan is. And this is to help you figure out, like, what is their goal? What are they trying to do? We'll have to go back to goals in a second later when it comes to the players. Okay. Well, I know their plans. Should I say it?
probably not.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Let us find out about that.
I'm going to roll up their stats, and then I'm just going to start writing down everything for their character there. So it'll just be like a second where I actually type it up so I don't lose track of it.
Cut this out. Ba-da-da-da.
So what I was just doing there is I just went through and rolled up everyone's stats. So I rolled up all their conditions, I rolled up their knacks, I rolled up their qualities. All of that was just handled real quick. And honestly, as sometimes is the case when you roll up dice, they kind of weirdly all mesh together. I don't know if that's just because our brains like to see patterns, but it kind of works, which I guess that was the goal when I made everything.
Hopefully it's just the indication of a well-constructed table. Yeah.
It just works.
Now, the next part, and this is so that things go quicker, is we just sort of roll to see where the setting's going to take place in the inciting incident.
All right.
And we might end up having to ask the question, because if I get one, it's going to be your home city, and we haven't spoken about that. Nope, I got another dimension. That makes sense. That actually really fits really well.
Well, actually, if we're fighting alternate reality people, yeah.
Yeah.
So for the inciting incident table, I have to ask if anyone wants to volunteer to be the one who caused everything, or if I should decide randomly.
In the spirit of all the rolling we've already done so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alex, H.
Oh. Oops.
You fucked
Sorry.
up.
I
Nice.
fucked up.
What did you do?
So that means you start with a -1 penalty to your luck,
No.
but you get a
Okay.
+1 to start to solve the problem that you caused. So let's see what that is.
Okay.
Upgraded the prototype. Okay, that actually, all of this really, there's a few of
It's
those.
coming together. It's coming
It's
together.
all coming together.
There were a few of these where I'd like there'd be a stretch, but this one actually just flows really well.
So does this mean I start with 5 luck instead of 6, or because I upgraded the prototype, am I back to 6?
Oh no, upgrading the prototype is just sort of what you were doing that caused all the bad things to happen.
Okay,
You turned on the
so-
particle accelerator, and yeah.
Yeah.
We all got launched into another universe.
Oopsies! Well, that tracks because I'm into like coding and all that stuff. So I hit a wrong button. Oopsies. I
Did you
usually-
mess up your keybinds again?
I guess I did. I'm sorry.
This only leaves the last thing we'll have to do before we get started. And this is something everyone could just roll for to make it quicker, is everyone has a goal. Now, the goal quality is one extra quality you haven't dealt with yet because it's not part of regular character creation. This is just a goal for this episode that isn't just beating the villain. So you have something else you're trying to do. The benefit of the goal is that if you can destroy it at any time to succeed at something. So you can let the villain or yourself destroy whatever you're trying to go for. And that will piss you off so badly that you will succeed at whatever you're doing, but you're also going to overdo it. What the game calls kicking too much ass, which is when you basically critically success, except in this game, that's kind of a, bad thing if you want to think of it that way. This is something I was inspired by from Mike Pondsmith's game, because when you rolled like the best score possible in that game, you always overdid it. So like, since I was going for a Rumiko Takahashi thing, maybe you comically blow up a city or something like that. And actually, I guess that fits here too, actually.
It's funny, the Monty Python game we played for episode 1 of the show had a similar mechanic where if you rolled too high, you do too good, and there's a negative consequences.
And for once in our lives, we did that a lot.
Actually, we rolled bad a lot on that episode.
On that front, I'm kind of cheating, because also if you roll the lowest possible, it also goes bad. So there's a 2 in 6 chance that you cause collateral damage, but that really does fit with the show if anyone's ever seen it. Which, it's only inspired by, but, you get what I mean. Oh, so everyone has a choice. If you go to page 43 in the book, you'll see there's a D66 table you can roll on, or you can just come up with one that fits your character.
Let's see what we get here. I got goal number 22. So my goal is just survive something difficult, and ain't that the truth?
I got goal 33. Have some fun in the prototype.
Oh, good. That's why we're here.
Yeah. And that's why I upgraded it, even though I fucked it all up.
I got goal 52, which is get famous.
And I got goal 64, which is fix an appliance.
You're trying to fix
the fucking hyperdrive in the mech that got us here.
Oh,
Alan,
that
for
works.
a second I thought you were going to say the
I tried to hook up the coffee
wrecked.
machine to the particle
Get wrecked.
accelerator. Didn't work too well.
Listen,
Not sure why.
That may be how it actually turns out.
Okay, so we've got goals. Where are we at now?
Well, actually, we're pretty much ready to start from where we started with the inciting incident. So technically, this can take place in any city, any large city, America. But I was still thinking maybe I don't mind mentioning, I'm from New York. So I was thinking we have everyone in New York or New Jersey because of how we think of New Jersey would fit too.
We got an Italian here.
As the Jersey in here, I do have to represent.
Hey, I was there for 5 years. I'm
That's true.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You're a little Jersey.
I was in Brooklyn for 3 years, so I'm okay with New York.
Okay, so we start on a sunny day in New York, in a junkyard, large junkyard, where you guys have sort of set up a home base.
Staten Island.
Yes. I mean, you mean but where in Staten Island, though?
The whole thing,
yeah, that was the joke I was going for. But yes, in a large junkyard in Staten Island. So we start with Alanis. Tell me, this is where you guys sort of use as a home base. You sort of store the prototype, which, if you want to imagine it, this thing originally looked like a regular mech. But you guys tricked it out in some way. If you want to take a second, this isn't normally part of character creation, but we are in a podcast situation. Describe how you tricked it out.
Fair.
Go ahead, because it originally looked normal, but you had a chance to really mess it up.
I think we put a really good stereo system in there that can only be heard from the inside when we're in there. And
but we didn't do it perfectly, so like when you play, you hear the bass through it.
Yes.
It just rattles the windows.
Really rattly subwoofer.
And I think it'd be fun, like the top of it, like the little window where you see us, you just see a rainbow disco light.
With
the subwoofer.
It's
RGB
got like
linked to the base.
Yeah.
It's got like a black paint job, but then it's got like rainbow RGB gamer lights.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just right along the armor plating.
Yes. You just hear Darude Sandstorm coming from the inside. That played on the radio the other day. I died.
Bumper sticker I've gotten from every terrible Battle of the Bands show I've ever been to. This thing is just encrusted in stickers of really bad indie bands.
Wait, I've got one too. Can we, since
And
we're in
an
New
Italian
York,
flag.
Yes. One, an Italian flag, and two, can we have stolen a student driver magnet off of a taxi?
Oh, absolutely.
Get on
That's
there.
one of the many things that I'm
Please
good
be
at.
patient, student driver.
Is
Baby
it just on the
board.
rope?
Please be patient, student driver.
Yes.
I'm imagining you basically put it on the mech's butt.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. like the first time we see this, it like we get this really cool dynamic shot of it, like standing up from like the junkyard and doing like these really cool action poses. Camera like pans around and just like right on the ass.
Yeah. It does like a 360 epic spin, does a pose, and then just stops at the butt shot. Yeah.
Yeah. The really cool, like, super ergonomic, like pilot seat that was in there. Nah, we got rid of that thing. It's like the driver's seat from like a Ford Caprice.
That shit ain't comfortable.
If it has a car for a head, like in Megas, which car?
Oh, that's a good question.
What year is this again?
Any year you want it to be. It's
Okay.
not... It doesn't really matter.
It has to be something that can fit all four of us.
It's got to be not a
minivan.
coupe. Yeah.
Minivan could be
Yeah,
a
it's
double
like a
decker
Dodge
bus.
Astro van.
I would say like a Honda Odyssey. Yeah.
Yeah, an Odyssey. Yes, Honda Odyssey. The soccer mom van.
I'm
All
here
right.
for it.
Let's go with that.
Alex, I'm excited to see you Photoshop all of this together.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I just looked up what Honda Honesty is. This is...
You know it.
Yeah, I've seen it. So yeah, that's what's standing in there. And Alanis, right now, probably the hood of it sort of opened up. There are parts splayed about. You're working on something. So tell me, you're the one who causes this mess we're about to get into. So you tell me, describe your character a little bit too, because to introduce it to everyone, but also how you're trying to update everything.
So Alanis is, she loves coding. She has a lot of great research skills. And this subwoofer problem is bothering the hell out of her. So she is in there trying to fix this subwoofer problem. But as we pointed out, she loves playing video games and she hasn't reset her keyboard. So the keys have stuck for the game controls. And she hits a button that she thought was correct, but it's not anymore.
So our cold open sort of starts right there. You're working on this. I guess just so we all can to work with a bit of a cold open, can everyone take a moment and just say what they're doing here on the mech? All of you guys are chilling on a lazy Sunday morning, relaxing after a night partying before. So why don't we just start, I guess, starting with Alan, your character, what they're doing while everything is going on.
Okay, so I am playing Patricia Van Owen. You would all know to call her Delilah. She does not answer to Patricia. That's what her mom calls her. Patricia is probably on the head of the mech, looking up at like an absolutely beautiful New York sunset. Like the sun is like going down over Jersey. It's shining off the buildings from Manhattan. Just like a perfect New York summer day. She's laying on the mech's head, smoking a cigarette and going, ugh, so boring. And then she looks around and realizes that there's no one to actually see her. And then she like sits up a little more and like actually watches the sunset.
And I can hear Delilah a little bit, and I just yell up, I'll turn the music back on when I fix it.
Now, Alex, can you also introduce us to your character?
Sure. So, my guy is Tommy Two Thumbs Tagliani. He
The
is
accent came out.
from the area. He's a mechanic. This is why don't we say that this is his junkyard,
Okay.
Yeah.
or his cousin's or something. His cousin Tony's junkyard,
Tony.
of course. And what he's up to, while they're working on it, is he's standing, 20 feet away on the phone, just yelling about something. Somebody didn't show up to work today or whatever, and he's just I swear to God, this guy, one more time, if he's late again, this is his last chance. Like, he's just on a rant on his phone talking to somebody.
And I guess now we'll just end with Mitchell. As we're about to end the cold opening, what is your character's name and what are they doing right now?
Yeah, my character's name is Claudius Alis, better known as Old Tusk. Old Tusk is a looks like he might have been an old military veteran at some point. Probably late 40s, walked with a pronounced limp, and he's busy once again over the particle accelerator, working on a moonshine distillery, trying to get it to
Junkyard
install
moonshine.
properly. Just junkyard moonshine with the coffee machine on top.
You can just buy alcohol, though, right? It's not prohibition anymore.
That's what the man wants. Ain't been following the man no more. Ain't paying that tax again.
Can I recommend a nice wine, a nice Chianti?
They have that excess alcohol tax to it. Was that 20%? Ain't paying that no more. Gonna make it all here myself.
And you can flavor it however you want.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
you're
yet
already in a
somehow
junkyard.
It always comes out tasting like Cheerios.
Because all we got is Cheerios.
I tried moonshine once. I don't know. It is not good.
I mean,
I went to the distillery in Tennessee. Granted, I wasn't legal to drink at the time, but just the smell of it. What?
Yeah, I think some family went down south and brought some back with them, and I was just like, this is disgusting.
Look, give me anything that ain't Cheerios. It goes in the moonshine. It's easy.
I'll just say, because of what a roommate did once, it's good you're already in a junkyard, because when you brew alcohol, something no one expects, and my roommate didn't expect, is how many flies will just be in your apartment for months.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
My stepdad and his best friend brew. They have to do it in the garage with all the doors open, no exceptions.
Oh, no, he did it in the living room.
Oh, God!
Amazing.
dude.
Yeah. So, Alanis, while everyone is there on the mech enjoying this sunset or yelling about work or trying to make illegal alcohol, unlicensed alcohol, your key, as you said, your key bind gets stuck and sends sort of you get that cartoony thing where you see the electrical spark go down into the wire, going down into the ship. All of a sudden, electricity sort of sparks around the entire mech. The RGB lights flare, the subwoofer goes off, and then just as quickly as everything was here, the entire mech is gone.
Darude Sandstorm.
We now
Guys, I don't think I fixed it.
we fade out on the scene, and now we are going into a harder cut. Normally if this was a show, the intro would play, and now we have folded into a scene that will make it as cliche as possible. You're going through a blue,
Like a hyperspace tunnel.
yes. There are clocks, and they're like old clocks all floating around on the side.
It's like the Doctor Who
Bong,
opening.
bong, bong.
One of them knocks over Mitchell's moonshine and flows it out into the stream.
No! That's expensive.
I made it myself.
I made it myself.
Delilah is hanging onto, the antenna radial for grim death.
I'm just
Now-
still on my phone, floating through the abyss, just like, hello, can you hear me? Hey, don't hang up on me.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
I'm still half in the hood of the car.
Now, what I'll say is you don't seem to be going out of this portal. You're actually still stuck in it, sort of spiraling along, holding on for dear life. The music is still blaring, the lights are still going off. So whatever is setting this off is clearly still going on.
Do I have to hit the button again?
Well, maybe that will work.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you're just intuiting, okay, I'll just hit it again. Maybe that will turn it off. To see how well this goes.
Yeah.
Let's do the first check.
Okay.
Even though that might seem a little unnecessary here. Let's just go through that here.
Tutorial time.
This is a very basic roll under system. Your stats sort of serve as the DC, or if you would, that you're trying to roll under on a single 6-sided dice. So if you roll under them, you succeed. Now, when you have knacks, they add +1 for every single one that applies.
Okay.
And when you have qualities, you can use them by spending plot points to add a bonus.
Okay.
or you could also use them for plot conveniences where you just spend them and introduce an element into the story.
So would this be a brains check or a nerd check?
I'll say brains on this one. You're just hoping that the same thing would happen if you click it again.
And would I do this at advantage because of my coding knack?
Well, I would say, well, you would have a bonus, yes.
Okay.
When you say advantage, I might went to 5e.
My bad.
Yeah, like you're not rolling twice, but so if your brains is 4, it's 5 because you have a relevant knack, right? That's how that works.
Yep.
Alex doesn't look happy with her roll.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, no.
Well, that is kind of fitting, right?
I mean,
God
yeah.
damn it. The one
So you
thing I
press
couldn't
this-
roll.
Well, you also do get a bonus, but it won't matter here because you can't have 6 as your natural. I'll mention this here. Even if you would otherwise get it, you can't have a 6 as your stat.
Yeah.
Right. 6 is your crit fail anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So here's what I'll say. So you have failed at this task monumentally. So you press the button hoping that whatever you did will stop. And what ends up happening is, I will say it actually does stop, but you stop hundreds of feet in the air. The mech is completely gone dark, and you start plummeting to the ground. Everyone's still outside of the mech.
Alonso, I don't think that's the right button.
You're plummeting terribly down to this world that looks to be in ruin, and I guess the question is, what do? You're plummeting down, screaming, holding onto the mech. It's all the power's out.
Oh god.
Who's got good pilot? Can someone get in?
I have 4.
Not me.
I have 2, so I'm gonna.
I have to get in and pilot this thing and apologize.
This also might be a good time to sort of explain the stats, I just realized, because it might also
Sure.
be a good refresher for everyone here. So the stats are brains, brawn, nerd, talk, pilot, and cool. All of those are a lot like how they sound. Brains is smarts, brawn is strength. Nerd is your knowledge of storytelling conventions and nerdy fiction, which means you can get around a situation by just knowing how stories work, because that fits. Everything's tropey. If it's always like, this guy with the mustache is going to be evil because they're always evil in stories or something like that. Pilot is controlling the mech. I just realized I skipped over talk. And talk is, your face ability.
Right.
Chatting things out. Cool is special in that you can substitute anything for cool. Wait, other way around. You can substitute cool for everything.
I mean,
The downside, though, of cool is everything is one or nothing. So in other words, normally you have to critically succeed or critically fail for that to matter. With cool, you can substitute it, but you always will critically succeed or critically fail.
so since you just talked about it for a while, my character does have 5 cool. So what I would like to do is, skydive to the mech, essentially. Get in it and hopefully grab everyone else. So I rolled a 4. My cool is 5, so that should be good.
So you succeed, but because it's cool, you're gonna overdo it.
Great.
I guess the best way to start that is describe how you stop the mech falling for me, and I'll explain how you overdo it. We'll do one and one in there.
So if I weren't trying to overdo it, I would, get in, turn it on, use the arms to grab everyone else and put them in the car, the car head, and then assuming that this thing has some sort of rockets, I would fire them to slow our descent, but still do a cool superhero landing because,
Okay, so all that happens. You did succeed. You're trying to look cool. Here's the downside. Rockets shoot out fire, and fire burns. So you're landing in this field, and you set ablaze everything below you, burning all of the forest and the trees away in this big plume, like a reverse rocket launch, basically, where you're going down, but the second it hits the ground. So we're seeing like a front shot of the mech coming down. It's looking so cool. And then we're seeing this hard cut to just the entire ground being ablaze. All the little woodland animals running away.
No!
Oh, man. I don't think it was supposed to happen.
Oh my god. We just nuked fresh kills.
What, do you want to be roadkill down there? Like, no thank you?
Guys, I'm sorry. I was playing a game last night. My computer must have been set still.
Alanis, why are you saying you're sorry unless this is your fault?
I think it was. I was trying to fix a subwoofer.
So Delilah is gonna like stare at you, just like a withering glare, grab like a fistful of her hair, look at it, and just go, "Oh my god, all that, and I didn't even get a cool white streak in my hair."
I can help you dye it when we get back.
Yeah, where are we anyways? What forest is this? Is this Central Park? Are we in Jersey? What is this?
I mean, I would know in
It's
Central
Stonewood
Park. We would have been probably arrested by NCPD pretty quickly.
NCPD, you've been playing too much Cyberpunk. NYPD.
And you know what? I don't care no more. They're all the same to me right now.
As you look around trying to figure out where you are, with your eyes you immediately realize that this forested area, there's concrete underneath some of that grass that's burning. And you realize you're surrounded by big buildings as well. This forest is in the middle of a large city. And I don't mean Central Park. This is a city street.
Bryant Park.
Did you say Bryant Park?
It's the other park.
It's a smaller park. You can see buildings from it anyway.
Yeah.
Do we recognize any of the buildings? Like, is there a
Oh, this looks like New York. But it's all overgrown with vegetation. Like a classic post-apocalypse. People have long since moved out of the city. These buildings look ruined, overgrown with vines, and desolate.
Guys, did we just Planet of the Apes ourselves?
I think we might have.
You maniacs.
And we didn't blow it up yet. I would have remembered.
So, as you start moving around, trying to figure out what's going on, walking through, are you moving the mech, or you... I guess that's the question, actually. How are you going to explore this area? This is what you see right now. Are you going to explore it in the mech or get out?
Considering the fire going on outside,
Yeah, I'd say
probably
we go
stand
in.
back for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like there should be any issue there. So you're sort of walking through the desolate city streets, looking around, trying to see if you see anyone. It's very quiet and very dark. After all, the sky is strangely turned a dismal red color. But suddenly, as you're going through, a net is thrown off one of the building tops and covers up the mech's head, sending off sort of trying to capture it. As it lands on you, the what do you call those things? The little balls at the end of a net, the things that weigh it down.
Yeah,
The
the
thing
little
just
weights.
waits.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's
Yeah.
yeah.
At first, you're probably thinking like, what is a net gonna do to a mech? Then those start glowing red, and then all of a sudden, the net weighs a lot more.
Oh, good.
It is pushing the
magic.
mech into the ground and holding you down.
Gravity generators.
NYPD definitely doesn't have one of these, so what are they doing to my baby?
That's uncharacteristically optimistic of you.
This time.
Would it Kamala, would it be unreasonable, just since like we live in a junkyard, or at least the mech lives in a junkyard, and like most of our tools are, castaway garbage, could there be a pair of like rusty like garden shears or like branch nippers in here, like for like maybe we use it for like snipping like old cables to rewire them?
It sounds like you want to introduce a plot convenience.
That would be nice.
Ooh.
So would you want to spend a plot point and have that happen?
Yes. Does it need to be something that's tied to one of my knacks, or can I just spend it?
It would need to be tied to one of your qualities.
Qualities. Okay. Can I make an argument that the quality I'm using is Goth gives its greatest struggles to Goth's strongest soldier?
I love that, by the way. I love that quality.
That's awesome.
My only thought is it probably shouldn't be hedge clippers. It should probably be something more goth that you would have kept around. Unfortunately, I only know about goth from afar. That'd be my only requirement.
Okay, well then in that case, Delilah, like a year ago, which is why everyone's like okay with it now. A year ago, Delilah was really into knives.
Tracks.
Something wrong with that?
That
Yeah.
sounds like a goth thing.
Yeah. And like just started like collecting like weird knives, like most of the quality of like a Mal katana, but a few of them that were actually like oh crap, somebody actually like forged and sharpened this thing. I think she maybe has one of those, and of course it's got like a crow skull for a pommel or just something ridiculous like that. And I think she's just gonna crawl out like the window like a spider, and just start like cutting some of the ropes, and grumbling to herself, "My God, this is such an inconvenience. I was gonna go see Dog Breath Consortium tonight at the theater.
Good fake
They're
fan.
terrible. It was gonna be great."
I was mildly
So what I'm gonna say-
inconvenienced.
So let's, I'm going to say that should be nerd as you're trying to cut that down just because of the name, especially because when you say crow, I realized you meant the bird, but my mind went to the crow.
I mean, that is
Hell yeah.
also.
Brendan Lee skull.
I think
Brendan
Delilah
Lee.
unironically loves the crow, but like,
Probably.
yeah, but would never admit that she genuinely likes it. She thinks everything went wrong with the world when Brandon Lee died.
That was some
The
sad
crow-
shit.
Probably.
I can only imagine Delilah's opinions on the remake.
So
Scathing.
Alan has not seen the remake, but I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Delilah's opinion was, "Oh my God." So I rolled a 4, and Delilah's nerd is 4. What happens if I roll directly, exactly my stat?
You know what? I believe that is doing that, but let me just make sure that I did not forget.
Yes, fellow game designer, yes, I have done the same thing.
'Cause I think it originally was...
I should know the answer to that question. I fucking wrote it, but I don't. So let me check.
Yeah, it's equal to or lower your stat.
Okay, sweet. So in that case, I think I did it.
Okay, so you just succeed without overdoing it. So you cut off the sort of... So with your katana... It was a katana, right?
Something like that, yeah.
You cut off the parts holding the gravity weights. They fall to the ground like
Thor's hammer.
I don't know. Yeah, Thor's hammer. And just crash in there, freeing up the mech as you start to see people sort of walk up with guns. All these people look like post-apocalypse kind of style. You know, they got those little scars all over this place, random cybernetic parts.
It's like the
Some of them are
TVA.
holding up guns. Sorry, what was that?
The TVA from Loki with their suit.
I haven't seen...
Well, more like the people in the void.
Ooh, yeah.
They're like Fallout Raiders.
When Delilah sees this, I think she's just gonna stare at them for a second, hold out one hand and say, "If any one of you is Charlize Theron, I surrender."
You hear a deep voice go, "I don't know who Charlie Theron is."
Oh, when he says, "I don't know who Charlie Theron is," she's gonna slap her hand against the door of the Honda Odyssey and just say, "We gotta get out of here." Sorry, go on.
But today your reign of terror ends.
They really charged up for that one,
What did we
dang.
do?
I'll do we have a microphone, or I'll just lean out the window, and I'll be like, whoa, we just got here.
No, we know who you are. We remember.
We don't care to fill us in.
We don't.
What I do now?
Don't let them trick you. Everyone, open fire on the robot.
No!
And they all start shooting you with guns, but they're guns, so they're just all bouncing off of the metal and doing nothing.
Gonna pull Delilah back into the mech
Roll
just
the
in
window
case.
up manually because
Yeah,
it's a
please.
manual.
Some people take out larger rocket launchers and fire, but I'm just going to say it just doesn't do anything. They all just keep bouncing off the edges of the robot until you hear this motorcycle sort of ride down, and this woman with an eye patch and red hair
Charlize Theron.
sort of
It is real.
rides up, pulls up, does the Akira slide and says, "Cease fire."
Hell yeah.
If that really was the destroyer, they would have just crushed us by now.
She's not
I mean,
wrong.
we could crush them if we really want to.
Shush.
Just say, I'm just saying. Just throwing the idea out there.
It's true. This thing is really
Besides-
strong. We crushed a lot of stuff by accident.
We set things on fire.
Well, don't tell them about the moonshine.
Besides, the destroyer, has the red and black paint job. This looks like one of those old gaming laptops before the fall.
Uh-oh.
Who fell?
The fall?
Who fell? Look around you. The world fell.
Nah, this is just New York, lady.
Oh my god.
I'll point out that
It
one
looked
of
like
my
this all the time in the 80s.
one of my characters, Nax, knows every street in this town like the back of his hand. So no, this is not just New York. I know that things are different.
Fair enough.
I can tell.
I have common sense.
And eyeballs.
So if we don't mind moving along, I'll
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
fade things through to you getting sort of brought to Resistance HQ, this little camp that they've converted out of Grand Central Stadium.
Ooh.
Station? Stadium?
Did I say stadium?
You did.
Station.
Okay, station.
It's a stadium now.
Did you mean
being
MSG?
nuked.
Or
That's one of the things that's different about this world.
yeah. Yeah, they put the concert hall over Grand Central instead of Penn.
It is an alternate universe. Maybe they did. Maybe this is Grand Central
yes.
Stadium.
Yeah, why not?
It wasn't a flub. It was a small
A clever
hint at
world
another
building.
world.
Yeah, that's what we
There
got
we
now.
go.
Madison Square
There are
Garden's
no
over
accidents.
Grand Central. That's up.
Yeah.
As you're heading in there, it's your classic post-apocalypse thing. You have the people all there huddled up. Everyone looks hungry and tired. Everything looks off as this woman is sort of guiding you through the stadium. It all started a couple decades ago. This robot showed up, leveled the city, took it over, but nothing was ever enough. Everything was a conspiracy. Everything was a problem. They just kept destroying and destroying and destroying.
Wait, you saying everything's not a conspiracy?
Not everything was a conspiracy against him.
Oh, all right. That I could have said. Wait, who's him?
That's the Destroyer, the one behind the robot.
Is she pointing to something?
No, she's just saying.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They don't actually know who's inside the robot.
Oh, okay. Wait, there's another
Oh,
one of these
yeah.
things? Oh, there's another robot. Oh man.
We never seen him. We just heard the booming commands from his voice as he drives his legion to produce for him whatever he desires.
Oh, so this is Mad
But
Max.
we,
Sorry.
the free people, don't follow him. And you four might be our only chance.
On account of a giant robot.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're your only hope.
I don't get the reference, but yeah.
Can there only be one? Is that a reference you will get?
Guys, we have to save this world. We have to show these people Star Wars.
We have to educate these people. All right.
No, Highlander.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. Oh,
I
so
was talking about
Highlander.
Jet Li, but okay.
No. Yeah, before the fall, we were all big fans of the Highlander franchise. It got weird when Disney bought it out and did those sequels.
Oh
But,
no, this
they were
timeline needs to end.
Yeah.
This timeline needs to end.
I think maybe they deserve to be destroyed.
I like the prequel trilogy of Highlander. The sequel trilogy was okay. Love the original trilogy, of course.
Okay, we need to definitely end this timeline.
Delilah's gonna
this doesn't
step
need to exist
forward,
no more.
hold up her hands, and just be like, I'm sorry. I have a mental condition. I can't listen to this anymore. Okay, where you say you've never seen the Destroyer, then how do you know that's what blew up the world?
Well, we saw his robot. We just never seen his face.
Pretty good reason, actually.
Fair.
Yeah.
He never goes out of it. He's too afraid. He lives in that thing.
Guys, do you think he put a toilet in his robot?
One would hope. We should do that with ours.
I've been recommending it, but I couldn't figure out the system for it.
You
But
know,
we'd have to
fair.
replace the Odyssey with like a bus or something to have room for it,
Yeah.
It sloshes around, you
Ooh,
you
yeah.
gotta get the right seat.
Look, it already smells kind of weird anyway. The moonshine spilled everywhere. I don't
The
think we need a
general
septic
Odyssey
tank
smell.
in there. Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw General Odyssey smell at a show in Connecticut. They were actually pretty good.
Did they come in an Odyssey?
No.
If we could focus on the end of the world stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She said she says as she sort of like tries to cut through.
Where's Mr. Destroyer hang out?
Well, that's the complicated part. You see, the Destroyer, he built himself a fortress converted all of Jersey into a giant dome city.
All of Jersey?
A whole state? That's so
All
cool.
of-
Sorry.
No, Jersey City, not Jersey.
Oh.
Okay, I was a little confused. I'm like, I can't possibly mix that much urine with cleaner.
So that's a little impressive if we're just going to make a whole state that says, woof.
So we're gonna need a bigger mech. Do people come in and out of Jersey City?
Only if they're being recruited for the Destroyer's workforce. His servile bots come out and seek out people to kidnap and bring into the dome.
Oh, he's got robots too? Oh, dang.
Kind of like a Borg thing going?
I'm sorry, what are Borg?
We really do.
You don't know Star Wars or Star Trek.
No, I never heard of Star Trek or Star Wars. I mean, there was that one obscure film maybe in the 70s. But, we're not talking about any like Farscape here. Not like something that lasted multiple seasons.
Let me guess, was Ants more popular than Bug's Life as well in this timeline?
Ooh.
No, actually, the big CGI hit was that weird one that the one based on the old British cartoon that came out in like 2003.
Wallace and
This is
Gromit.
I love Wallace and Gromit.
I was actually thinking more obscure than that. I was thinking more obscure than that, but yeah, let me go for
Chicken
Wallace
Run?
and
I was
Gromit.
gonna say, that actually is a franchise. Chicken Run, yeah.
Yeah, Chicken Run. We'll go
This
with that.
timeline's all over the place at this point.
Fucking chicken run.
All right, so this destroyer's got some cool robots, minions, right? And they exist in Jersey City. Well, I mean, seems like your timeline's kind of screwed.
Everything's fallen. Every government, every country, except, strangely, Madagascar. They've pretty much gone through this just fine.
They're all lemurs.
Pretty
That's
nice
fair. Is King Julian still ruling Madagascar?
King
He'll take care of everything. Him and Mort.
Hello.
I'm starting to think that there's a little too much media reference going on in here.
I think I did get sidetracked.
Who just did the Mort voice?
that was me.
It was pretty good.
Thanks.
I've never heard you do. King Julian. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
I guess we all got a little distracted.
That's the show.
Well,
Yeah.
We're
This is
roll for
the name of the
distraction.
game. Roll for
we're
distraction.
world building.
So, to get back on track here, she's pulling out some blueprints saying, well, we have an elaborate way of getting inside. Or you can smash your way in.
Can we
What
do
about
both?
Well, why don't you guys, with your, small, frail, squishy human bodies, you guys take the sneaky way, and we'll do the smashing, and bada bing, bada boom, we'll get him.
And hopefully we'll live in a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a low bar.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to smashing Jersey City. I'll admit that.
That could be fun.
Hey,
There's a guy named Alex there that I got some problems with. I mean,
for the record, don't live in Jersey City. I've not just been doxxed.
Yes.
So what if you take your guys, you pretend to get recruited, get into the dome, and we show up with our way cooler robot, and we challenge him to a thumb wrestle. And while we're fighting outside, you can, I don't know, free everybody or whatever. I ran out of plans.
you know what? I got some plans. Quick question: how many people are in there, and how many war crimes can we commit?
No, boy. Well, if all the cities are gone, there's no more Geneva, so...
Yeah, see, Geneva Convention. I mean, Geneva suggestions. Just saying.
Geneva checklist.
Well, there's quite a few people in there, but we don't have exact numbers.
Yeah, but how many do you want?
There's quite a few.
How many do you want to get out?
All of them?
Oh, okay. Well, that changes my
We'll
mind.
try not to step on anybody.
Are we sure that they're the ones we should trust? Someone, one of their lieutenants says, and she just goes, I think they're the only ones who can do it.
Do you know how to drive the giant robot, smart guy?
I've never driven a minivan robot, but I am forklift certified, so maybe.
Forklift certified.
Dang, he's more certified than I am.
Look, I wouldn't worry too much. Old Tusk here asks how many war crimes we can commit when we go to Taco Bell. So that's That's just kind of how he interacts with the world.
And when we get back, he commits war crimes on a toilet.
Yeah, Taco Bell's a war crime in and of itself.
I guess you guys are all accepting all the plan. And I guess, so you're going to just smash your way in, you said, right?
Yeah, and then they can run around sneaky like, you know, maybe they pull a Phantom Menace. Not that they'll understand the Star Wars reference. And, you know.
But we will.
Turn off all the robots.
So as you start to approach the dome on the, as you start going towards Jersey City, you just see this giant silver chrome domed, like a top of an onion ballooning out. On all sides, there are these little robots that are just sort of floating about like orbs with little arms, going around searching for people with big spotlights. There is just a bunch of, there's a bunch of flashing lights on it. It's on the other side of the ocean.
The Hudson.
Well, I said ocean,
Yeah.
didn't I? Other side of the Hudson. I knew I was going to make a lot of flubs.
Well, at least you're not the only local, so we can save you the embarrassment. Yeah, I think we just go for it, right?
Yeah.
We're just standing, ankle deep in the Hudson, standing there all tall. I hit a button and Sabotage by the Beastie Boys starts playing.
Yeah.
out of the mech.
They've never heard it, so they think this is just like, a war cry.
So, who's going to roll pilot to see if you can get through the dome?
I've got the highest pilot, right?
Yeah, well, you go for it.
God damn it. It was a 5.
No.
I'm a 4.
No.
I'm not allowed to do this shit anymore.
So Beastie Boys is playing, you're rocking right in there, and you just sort of hit it like a fly on the wall.
Tink.
And you just sort of start slowly sliding down the edge of it.
Okay, maybe we have maybe we try something a little bit more destructive.
I'm going to say the minions have now taken notice to you, and they're starting to go to you, but you could use one of your armaments. So at any time, anyone who's piloting a mech can roll on the armament table, and that's with a D66. And that will immediately give you some new benefit and drawback that you could try to use to fix the situation.
Has anyone not rolled anything yet?
I don't think Delilah and I have not rolled anything.
No, I've
I've
rolled.
Oh, okay.
Then Mitch, you want to roll
Yeah, I
for
think it's
the...
Mitchell.
you guys
Hell
do it.
yeah, let me blow something up.
So you're going to press on the armament table and see what happens.
And I got a 12. Fusion drive.
Ooh.
So the prototype inexplicably fuses with nearby vehicles and technology. Oh, I based this off of Gurren Lagann. I know what I'm thinking of. Like when he gets if you've ever seen the show, when he like absorbs the mech to get the flight pack. I know exactly what I was thinking of when I came up with this.
Well,
So the benefit of this is make a new quality related to the prototype's new features. This quality has one free invoke. The drawback, this fusion is unstable. The villain can invoke the quality for free once as well to aid to their own actions.
Ooh, I get to make up a
So right
random
now-
new quality. Okay.
The benefit to this is, you're surrounded by the floating orb thing. So you tell me what you sort of take on here to add to the mech's capabilities, and then you could try to use it to bust through the wall with a bonus, +2 bonus, basically.
The orbs are just kind of like
A -2 bonus. Sorry, my brain went the other way around. -2 bonus. I think I said plus earlier when I meant to say minus.
It's all good.
So the orbs are just kind of floating there, right? Like on repulsors or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, our prototype's gonna just lash out with a bunch of wires, absorb them, and then like fly back a couple of feet and combine the arms to create just one giant repulsor cannon. like a Kamehameha, or like a, I don't know, what are the things from Cyborg Sonic Cannon from Teen Titans?
Okay, so you take one of them and you turn it into like a cannon.
Oh no, a
and,
bunch
like,
of them. A
bunch of
He's
them.
reversing
Yeah, well,
the
how
repulsor.
big are they? Are they like...
They're like the size of like a car.
Okay, they're pretty big. Okay.
Okay, so they're pretty decent.
They're like
So
one in
you'll-
each hand, like...
Yeah.
So actually roll roll pilot again this time, or cool if you'd like, and you'll have the -2 bonus to your roll.
I am definitely gonna do cool for this, because my pilot's only 2.
Oh, Okay, it is. I was right the first time. It is a +2 bonus because it increases your stat. That's why. All right,
Okay.
That's how I
+2
handled
to
it.
the stat, not -2 to the roll. I mean, tomato, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so I rolled a 4. So that is it's a exact success.
Okay, so you take those minions, you make your cannon, and you Hadoken right through the wall, blasting into the city center. With the hole blasted open, you're hearing the klaxons go off on this futuristic techno cyberpunk city with neon, and you can just see these things that are just like, do not disagree with
Obey.
Big
Yeah.
M.
Obey.
Consume, reproduce.
Oh, God.
Hang on
Has
a
anyone
second.
ever seen They Live?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just this like dystopian thing. Do not disagree with Big M. Do what Big M says.
Big Mother?
Big M.
Maybe he should have workshopped that one a little bit.
It's the man. I told you. We never
The
get
M
away.
is for man.
So minions start sort of pouring in behind you now, trying to fight you. Each one of them are going to... We're going to have this be the case where they're going to try to damage the... sort of attack this ship, which the way it works is the prototype itself doesn't really have like stats itself. It's not really... It's all based on what you, the players, are doing. So when the prototype gets damaged or when they try to do stuff, it's really more going to be framed from them trying to hurt someone inside. You know, this is not the type of game where we're, this isn't Lancer.
Right.
We're meticulously building out the robot itself.
But if anyone wants to watch an actual play of Lancer, you're on the right YouTube channel.
Yeah, you are.
So far, this feels like, and I mean this in the best possible way, this is the anti-Lancer.
Right. It's the other end of a spectrum.
Yeah.
They're like Salvage Union in the middle.
So the robots are all going to be firing lasers, and one of them strikes and is about to hit the sided door where, let's see here, who should I do? Because who hasn't really been doing anything? How about Alex?
Which one?
You. I got us here.
How do I differentiate between the two there?
A lot of times what'll happen is Brian, mostly on our other show, will call me Alexander.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I was wondering how to differentiate. Okay, so Alexander, it's shooting at your side door. So the question is how you're going to try to protect yourself from a big solar laser bolt.
Right. With our new armament of, now that we have repulsors, I want to turn one of them on it and fire at it and like have the beams meet and then overpower it with the second one of them and have all 3 beams meet, and then it just goes back to it and blows it up. That's what I would like to happen.
Now, I feel like that should be nerd because you're trying to do a Kamehameha beam struggle.
Kinda, yeah.
Beam clash.
Or like every other media involving 2 lasers, but yeah. Yeah. My nerd's not good. Do I add something for the armament?
Well, what next do you have? The armament, the armament's already used the free invoke.
Okay.
I assumed you used that, right? Or have you not used that?
I think Mitch used it
Oh,
on
you
his
did.
other roller.
But you can absolutely still use it.
Right, I
because
just don't get
quality's
the
still
bonus.
there.
Well, I got a 2. So, hey.
So yeah, so without overdoing it, you did actually manage to hold it off. You blast away one of the mechs, freeing yourself up, and you're now sort of opened down to go down to the city, while the mechs are still sort of swarming after everyone and firing at you. You're not directly in there. And as you're going down, being chased by these mechs, you see a big eyeball pop up on all the screens looking at you. As a big booming voice says, "Who sent you? The government?"
I don't think there was no government left, but we can always lie and say yes.
Was it the CIA, the FBI, the IRS?
Definitely the IRS.
The IRS and I are not on good terms.
I know you're with the European Union
Oh,
or the Australian Union. I think they have a union. There's probably unions in Australia.
we're from Madagascar. We're with the lemurs.
The Lemur Union. Even the lemurs are against me now.
I was gonna make another King Julian joke, but I'll stop.
I knew it. You can never trust lemurs. They look all cute with their long tails, but then they spin and become a puppet. That's a reference no one's gonna get. I don't even know why I said that.
I was told we were gonna have a giant robot fight. Are we having the robot fight or what? Where are you?
That's where we're leading. Oh, sorry, that was in character.
Yeah.
Bursting out of the ground, you see this red and black mecha that looks just like yours, except it doesn't have a carve for a head. It looks like it's actually still intact. It's only just redone a paint job to make it look more menacing and evil. Like, it still has its face, but the face also looks kind of evil. Does that make any sense? You know, like, it's a robot, but it looks menacing. Yeah.
It's got a very unbalanced Kiki to Boo Boo ratio.
No stickers on it, no RGB lighting.
The subwoofer works.
So when we see this, like, you know, super menacing, like this thing like comes out from the underground like Jaws the shark, right?
Like the Underminer.
The Underminer. We gotta wait 10 years for the sequel.
I think Delilah is gonna grab like the microphone that we use to like send messages, and what she's gonna do is flip the switch so that it's on broadcast. Like, we're using our mech's souped up like speaker system to just like blare her words out into the entire dome. And I think what she's gonna say is, "Oh yeah, I know guys exactly like you. You like to dress yourself up in spikes, and you wear all black because it makes you look really cool, or at least you think it does. And you talk about all these enemies you have and all these like crazy exes that you've got because you think it makes you interesting. But mostly, it just makes it how clear you want to be interesting. You got nothing going on, Big M. You might rule the world, but all you did was make it suck. More."
This sounds like you're trying to... Let's do a talk then. Let's do a talk.
So I would like to do talk, and I have a knack that is immediate and unfailing knowledge of other people's insecurities.
Oh, that's perfect.
Delilah's calling me out, dang.
Delilah's gonna kill all of us.
I know what makes you all insecure, but
Oh God.
but I need someone to eventually install a toilet in the mech. So
No promises.
remind me what a knack does.
Oh, it gives it... So it's a bonus, so it's +1 to the stat itself.
Okay, that's fantastic because my talk is 4 and I rolled a 5.
Okay, so that's exactly what you needed. See, the nice thing about D6s, one thing I do like about it is they're not too swingy. You know, +1 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It matters. Yeah.
It's like 16, 18%, something like that. Yeah.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
So normally to unveil a condition, you would normally like have to go through and like identify then act on it. But I think this should work for identifying one of his, considering one of his conditions are. So what you realize is that he wants to prove himself the best, the safest, the strongest. He wants to be on top. So you calling him out like that, he just goes, you think you know me? You think you don't know anything about this, okay? The world was dangerous. The world is scary. I don't understand the world. The world didn't treat me right. Army didn't treat me right. Now I'm going to make the world better. I'm going to make the world right. One where I'm safe and there isn't anyone trying to gun for me.
Wait a
Hey,
minute.
Big M, you're right. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know anything about this world. But I know a fucking poser when I see one.
Poser.
God damn.
So he lifts up his mech, and all of a sudden its left arm turns into this big fuck-off missile that just fires right at the cockpit,
Oh, no.
which is going to become your problem to deal with.
Do we have one of those?
Sorry,
Alanis. Not Alanis, sorry. Your character's was Patricia.
Okay. I think...
Actually, wait, let me have him roll for this, because I've been having you guys do this, but he has stats and he can roll.
Oh, all right then.
So
That makes sense.
So let's see how this goes. So this is going to be... So the stats for the villains are Gloat, Plan, and Smash.
Smash.
This is going to be Smash.
Smash.
Which is unfortunately the one I rolled that would be his best stat.
Makes sense.
Just as a heads up. I mean, I won't say what his stat is, but he rolled a 3 just to give you an idea. So what that means is that when it hits when the explosion hits, right, so in this case, actually, I should have been rolling against your luck because he's trying to hurt you. If we were just trying to generally smash, it would have been against Smash. So actually, what's your luck right now? 6?
It should be a 6, yeah, because I haven't used any.
So no matter what, it would have actually succeeded. So your luck is now decreased by 1.
Okay.
So you took some damage, whether that's physical, emotional, however you sort of compartmentalize it, whatever makes the most sense. Because luck can be really just the most generic term I could think of to describe it.
Yeah, like the missile hit us and we got rocked around. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Gameplay question. So if they're rolling against your luck, and when you take a hit, your luck goes down. So the further down your luck goes, the more likely you are to succeed, like luck checks.
Yes.
That's really cool.
That's fun.
That's all I had to say. I just think that's
a
neat.
fun little mechanic. So you start at 6 luck, which is what a d6 is. So you're guaranteed to get hit the first time something tries to hit you, and then it becomes a little less likely.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I like that. Yeah.
That's a fun
That
little
tells a
mechanic.
fun story of like starting out on the back foot and then getting a little better.
Yeah.
As you that's really
locking
cool.
in. Yeah.
There we go.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay, so so you take that 1 damage. You get the mech gets rocked back through the city. You get shooken up from it, and he's going, nope, not having it. Not being called the P word today.
The P word.
Not gonna be called the P word. Not being called the PP word. I'm just gonna be called Big M.
What's the PP word?
I don't want to know.
I didn't actually have an answer for that. I just thought it'd be funny to say. No
Purple
follow-up.
poser?
Proud poser? Oh no, that's way worse.
Poser?
So, his minions are surrounding behind him. He's taking his action. Now, there's no, just to, pull back, there's no turn order. But generally, the guidelines, if anyone's ever played a game without a turn order before, there's this concept, I don't remember where this term originates from, called the spotlight. It's been, thrown around for years. I don't know where it comes from. So, I'm going to turn it over to someone who hasn't done something in a while, which would be Alanis. Just to remind everyone, you also have secondary goals. You were the one who, and if I remember correctly, yours was
Have fun with the prototype.
have fun with the prototype. So, you know what?
You could have fun by rolling on
That
the
was actually a great time. That was a good time to remind someone, because this is a great time to remind someone about your secondary goal.
Is there a way, so we have full control, so just so I can picture this in my head, do we have full on arms, legs, and then we are up in the Honda Odyssey up at the top, correct?
Oh, yeah. So basically, imagine your classic mecha. It has some way to fly if you wanted to, stuff like that. It has tons of weapons built in, but to use any of them, you have to use the armament table. But you still have fists. You can still smash without having to worry
That's
about
what I
it.
really wanted to do. I wanted to do a big ol'
Just a haymaker.
You just want to punch him.
yeah.
Yeah.
The way the villain also doesn't have stats in the sense of trying to beat him this way. You're trying to prove against his goals, but this works here because you're trying to. One of his goals is proving he's the best, that he's stronger.
Right.
So kicking his ass can narratively prove that he isn't. Just letting everyone know how this would make sense and how it would handle something like this.
So how do we punch?
How to
It's just a pilot check.
how to punch.
Well, the thing is, the way you should handle it in most circumstances is think about the stat that works with the reasoning. Depends on how you do it. So you can use pilot, you can, from a GM's perspective, or if you don't want pilot to be the only thing getting rolled, you could also say this is trying to solve a problem by just smashing it, which sounds more like brawn.
Yes.
Oh, true. But you have good pilot.
I have good pilot, and I also have good nerd, my brawn-ish.
Do you want to be mean or do I want to be nice? I'll be nice.
Okay.
Because you've all been very nice to me.
4! I did something!
Yay!
Nice.
Since you succeeded, we'll say this handles that condition of proving that you're the stronger of the two. So tell me how you go just ham on this guy and just beat his ass.
Real quick, before you punch him, I picture us standing up like the guy from One Punch Man, where he's laid out on the ground and he just gets up all at once, rotating at the feet. The rock boosters.
You mean Geno's? Yeah.
Yeah, Genos, yeah. He just pops
Amazing.
up.
Yes. So we do that full pop up. you just hear with the special keyboard, I think is going to come through as I program it. And we are going to have one hand end up on the other mech's shoulder, pressing down with as much force as we can, while the other one comes in for a good old wallop to the face. It spins the head ever so slightly. Their version of the Honda Odyssey goes ever so slightly askew. And then,
Well, it just has a regular mech head. Just
okay, that's just normal head. Okay, cool. So the head goes slightly askew, and then I am able to take my other hand off his shoulder and uppercut it and reset it to straight ahead.
Nice.
Are you sure you want to run kickass.exe?
Confirm.
Cannot verify publisher of this.
So, if I can put a little embellishment in there, if that's not a problem.
Yes, please.
You do that, it causes, at first, the head to spin around, like it's on a 360-degree axis, and you can actually hear him going, "Ah!"
He is now on a tilt-a-whirl. Have fun.
And then when you punch it the other way, it stops, and he goes, "Oh!" You can hear, like, him... Actually, I did it physically. That probably made it sound better on mic.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly stop and move.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he sort of walks back, grabbing the mech's head. Robots, deal with them. Oh, I gotta deal with my morning moonshine.
It is
Hang on a
doing that.
second.
Hold on.
Why does that feel familiar?
What's the M stand for?
Wait a minute.
I just
This guy's
realized.
stealing
that
my
you-
recipes.
Oh my god! I was using your real name for the acronym, and now
No,
your
Big M
character's
still
name-
counts.
This
It's
is
all
the alternate
good.
universe where this character is just named Mitch.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I was using Mitchell.
It's just Mitch.
That was
just
the one
me.
butterfly effect. This guy's parents named him something different.
It should have been Big
And now
K.
Star Wars doesn't
It
exist.
changed everything for him.
It should have been Big K, but I just glanced down and saw Mitchell next to your picture.
No, it's fine. I think it's hilarious that he goes by Big M, and it could stand for just Big Moonshine.
Big
Big
Moonshine!
Moonshine! No, that works!
That's your name now.
that's
Big
great.
Moonshine.
Yeah, that's what they called you in college or whatever.
They called him that in college, but it was definitely like not a good nickname. It was the one time you tried to make moonshine and just like stunk up the entire floor. Like everything smelled
Poisoned
like
everybody at the dorm, yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
smelled like Cheerios.
So the dome opens up a little bit, letting sunlight in, and these mechs start glowing, and they start going around you, these the minions, and they are going to try to... Well, they're going to try to sort of entrap you in this electrical net that they're floating around you. Because the minions also have stats, but the minions are kind of designed to always fail.
An electro web situation.
What I'll say here, what we'll do with this, it's been a little while since, I think of all of you, I think it's been a while since Alexander's done anything.
Sure.
So Alexander, as the mechs, as they try to build the sort of the thing around you to entrap you, how do you bust out and cause like a bunch of them to fly into the buildings and explode?
I like to think that, in keeping with the sort of cartoonish tradition of the game, we just kind of put our arms out to like sort of a T-pose in fists, and then the head stays still and the legs stay still, but the torso and the arms tornado spin, and we just kind of punch through all of them.
You T-pose to insert dominance.
Yeah, we assert dominance, yeah.
So they all go flying around the city, blowing up, hitting into the, blowing up, going all over the place. Around this time, he is gotten his composure back, and he's lifting his hands up, and he's starting to glow. As he's like, all right, round 2, Big M, Big Moonshine, we're gonna make this work. You can hear him drinking a little bit.
What? Over the loudspeaker.
The loudest sips possible.
Right.
Since this is an alternate mech, to figure out what he does next, I'm actually gonna roll up. This is not in the rule book. This is an idea I just had.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll on the armament table and just see
Yeah, why not?
to describe what he does next, since it's a duplicate of your own prototype. 25. It's 25.
Wow.
So
I can't believe- I can't
25
believe you
is
rolled that.
possibly
I
the
can't believe you
wildest
fucking
thing
rolled that.
I rolled. Could have rolled.
Oh god.
I'm looking at it.
I rolled the
surprised.
time trial. So when I know we said we'd do this at the end. So when I just made a lot of these, my mind was always, if it derails everything, that's fine.
Yeah, because it's a one-shot.
Yeah. So this was, I rolled time drive just to let the audience finally know what it was. What? Now in the default setting of, the default fiction, this robot came back from the future. And so that means that's where the robot originally came from. So you're not going to go to their version of it. Now you can't change anything about it because the drawback for this is that before you can turn the tide of a battle, you're just sent back to the past, and you can't figure out how you did it again.
But I didn't hit a button this time.
We broke time twice.
So now we're both falling through the hyperspace tunnel in both robots.
Yeah. He presses the button, and all of a sudden, you're both back into the time thing, and you're going...
Everybody hold on!
Eventually, you see this dog with glasses and this little kid with orange hair going, Mr. Peabody, what are these? What are these guys doing in the time stream? And the dog just goes, quiet you, as they fly
Quiet
back.
you.
Don't pay attention to
Is the
that.
TARDIS flying by?
Yeah, old lady on a bike. Dun, 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 dun.
And all of a sudden, you find yourself in space on the moon. There are tons of other robots flying around. You see some that are green and monstrous-looking big battleships. They're all flying about, blowing each other up. As you both land here, he's like, what did I press? Where are we?
See, you found the time button.
I hit that once. I forgot where it was last time.
It took you this long to find the time button? My god.
This thing's a time machine?
Unfortunately, it is still time to kick your ass.
You hear, you start seeing on radio chatter, like, what are these two robots? Here's the unfortunate part. He rolled it, not you, so they go, one of them looks like the mech we sent back. It's finally come back to help us.
I thought you were going to say haunt us.
Oh.
It's come back to help us. Because it was supposed to change the future, but must have failed or something.
Oh, it's supposed to be a Terminator situation.
Yeah. So a bunch of the humanity robots sort of go behind Big M and go like, you've been sent back to help us, haven't you?
Sure.
Big M is like, yeah. No, he got the minion group. Because he gets... Yeah, these are guys have been trying to stop the future from happening. They're the ones who ruined it.
Oh, no.
We just keep getting jumped around time today.
So now is there Big M, there's also, and his minion robots, but now a second minion group of humans who think you're the bad guy.
No.
Hey, Alanis, if you could find that time button again, that would be really convenient.
Yeah.
Get sent even further into the future.
But whatever you hit the first time, just do it again, but like also hold down shift.
Got it. Okay.
And then we can just leave this asshole here.
All right. Can I do that? Can I use my nerd skill with
Oh, unfortunately,
Well, yeah.
The armament table always has to be rolled randomly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just
So it wouldn't matter.
mostly joking.
Okay.
You could try to do it and then roll the armament table.
But it's a 1 in 66 chance, so...
Yeah. I don't like my odds
Not
anymore.
exactly, but
I think it's like a 1 in 36 chance.
yeah.
36, yep.
It's a weird number, yeah.
Well, I am going to move the spotlight over to you guys, and I can't remember who's been the longest since acting, so whoever wants to take the initiative right now, because now you're facing over this much even bigger army. Things have gotten worse. You've jumped time twice.
Ooh, you know what? I have an idea. I can use nerd.
Using story logic.
Using story logic. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What was the movie? It was a Jackie Chan movie where he used a wig as nunchucks.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
A wig?
He used
That
a wig as
literally might be
nunchucks.
more than one Jackie Chan movie, but keep going.
So what I'm thinking is, like, using that same kind of logic, we're gonna look around for like a supply ship or something similar, like a floating train.
Yeah.
Grab
works.
it and just use them as nunchucks. And you know what? I'm gonna use the neck. The mecha is my best friend and my therapist. So like, completely ignoring the fact we're on the moon, he's just gonna like, say, look on, come on, buddy. It's time to really amp it up right now. We got this.
Okay, so give me your nerd.
All right, I gotta roll 4 or under. Instead, I roll a 6. So
Great.
Okay, so that means
we just
you
made this
fail
way
at
worse.
this task epically.
Oh,
So you
wonderful.
grab a train. You start whipping
Moon
around
City.
his nunchucks. You start seeing little people fly out going, ah! In all directions.
Put it
Oh
down.
man, not
so
more on the
nunchuck-
moon too.
Well, they all live. There's still a kids show, but we're still seeing them all fly out into all directions.
Fortunately, if you
They're-
get yeeted on the moon, you only fall with 1/6 of the force.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Fine. It's fine.
That's a science fact, kids.
Now, the funny thing about nunchucks, I don't know if you know this, is it actually takes a lot of training to not just keep whacking yourself with the nunchucks.
Oh, I know this.
So you just
injury.
keep hitting the mech with it, and the final one flies up and smacks you right in the face, which
Damn.
I'm gonna just... I mean, your luck is at 6, right?
Yes.
So we technically I don't need to roll. So,
Nonetheless, but
I mean...
I think that's
so
fair.
So you take that whack right in the face,
Ooh.
You know what? That's my fault.
You're
and
fixing it.
you damage the lights. You get knocked around. Your luck goes down as the train
Damn.
sort of goes back in your hand, and then the top part just falls down and smashes on the ground.
Well, I tried.
All the humans and all of the prototype are like, yeah, see, they're clearly villains. They just attacked all those civilians.
God.
There was a mistake made today.
A mistake? How about a few?
I mean, are you taking responsibility for some of them?
I already did.
Oh, fair
I
enough.
said
All right.
sorry.
Should we fly toward the opposing army and join forces with them?
We'll betray ourselves.
Wait, Alexander, do you want to open comms and try to convince the aliens you're on their side? The evil alien invaders, the Icker?
Let's do it. I say let's do it.
It's either
What do we
them
got
or
to
we
lose?
try to convince the other people that we're not evil. But
You did already.
we did already attack the city, so
Yeah.
I'll take responsibility for that one. That's one war crime down today.
You did get to do a
You
war
did
crime.
ask.
You attacked
You
the
did it.
civilian population.
Not my intention, but
You still haven't fixed that appliance you've been trying to fix, though.
there hasn't been enough time to focus on the coffee machine just yet.
wait. Considering my goal is just survive,
You're doing great.
I have no loyalties. Yeah, I'll get on the comm and just be like, hello, alien invaders. We would like to join your empire. They're right here. Your foes are right here. And I like turn on a laser pointer, like like a missile guider laser.
Roll your talk.
I think my talk's pretty good. Yeah, I should 4 talk. All right.
Hey, you're pretty likely to succeed.
It's a 4. So hey.
So the aliens go, yes, clearly, our past selves our future selves must have sent back this prototype to stop the other prototype that they're sending back. Just like in that movie.
Yeah,
Terminator
mission
2.
accomplished. Hail Zorp Zorp or whatever.
They even know how to say Merry Christmas in our language. Space Christmas. All these green robots now line up behind you. So now you are on the evil side of this version of the
no.
war.
We can fix this.
And the villain's on the good side with his mechs.
We can fix this properly.
Real quick before we do this, would you like the trade positions?
No, I feel pretty confident where I stand.
You sure?
Yeah, all right.
Our guys have like lasers and stuff.
And also, you notice his mech is glowing yellow as the sun is starting to crest around the side of the planet.
He's solar
Oh,
powered.
man.
So we're on a ticking.
There could be something there.
Wait, what happened? What if we just launch him into the sun?
It's a little
Chuck
far
it.
away.
If he
fine, we can make it.
if he is being powered by the sun, Delilah's a goth. The sun is my natural enemy. I think I got an idea.
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Okay, so
Oh, Delilah. Why did I think your name was Patricia?
Oh,
Because it is.
Patricia's my birth name.
Oh,
It's my
gotcha.
slave
Government
name.
name.
Oh, Jesus.
Christ.
Oh, fuck. You know, she made that joke exactly once, and it was like the only time her parents were ever like righteously mad at her. Like,
No, honey, no.
For a valid reason. We'll call you Delilah. Just don't say that.
it's like, what movies have you been watching? So I have a quality called white on white translucent black capes for all the Bauhaus fans in the audience. So I would like to use that to create a plot point to say that our mech has a like heat and radiation resistant cape that it can deploy, but instead of
Absolutely.
it like billowing like around us, I want Delilah to grab the controls, take the cape, and like stuff it over the other mech like it's a pillowcase.
Absolutely. I will say in this case, it sounds like you're using brains to try to outthink them.
Yes,
We will fight in the shade.
exactly. Yeah. My brains is 4, and I rolled a 2.
Okay. So that's like best case scenario there. So you get it over Big M, and he goes, "No, what? Get this thing off me!" Well, ugh.
Embrace the darkness, loser!
They're attacking the prototype. Open fire! And
Defend
they
us.
all
Those guys.
so they all start blasting, and it starts hitting across the mech, pinning it down. While the other ones, I started blasting, and then the other ones begin blasting at the. That's my only humor references. So the other ones start saying, "Now's our chance! Fire at the humans!" There starts to be this big explosive battle surrounding you, while you and the prototype, Big M, are sort of locked together, surrounded by these robots, by these two armies now fighting around you. And let's see, I feel like Alanis, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
This is me maybe giving you a bit of a nudge, but remember how this all started with the subwoofer?
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
We're on
What
the
you're telling
move.
me is it's a good thing I didn't fix it.
It's a song with a really loud bass.
Bass cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dubstep.
All right.
Let the bass get it, kick it.
So we are going to try to fight this music. So I load up bass cannon on my Spotify and plug it in.
Future Spotify.
Yeah. And it's going to go through that broken subwoofer, and thank God I didn't fix it, because poof.
We're just holding him down and we're like vibrating.
All right, so you're gonna mess with the subwoofer. So give me your, let's see, brains, because it's messing with the tech.
He was I'll be now.
You have
Give
good
me your
brains.
Give me your brains.
I got a 2. I'm good.
So you start playing the music loud, and you see him put his hands over the heads underneath the cloaks. And no. And you seem to deduce that loud noises seem to be a problem for him.
Loud noises.
I can never figure out how to turn on the speakers on this thing.
Good.
They're permanently cranked all the way up.
That's when he pulls underneath it, leans down, grabs the mech's legs, and he's gonna try to lariat. Wait, is that the right word?
Larry's
He's gonna grab you and spin you around.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
sure, take us down, yeah.
So now, this time would actually be the right time to roll a smash.
That makes sense.
Because he's not trying to hurt you, he's trying to get you far away so he doesn't have to hear this music anymore. He got a 4, and that's a success for him, for smash. So, he spins you around. You all are just getting dizzy as he's just going around in circles, doing the
Payback.
wrestling move, going faster and faster till he lets you go, and you guys go flying right into the city, smashing through some of the buildings. They land on top of you, pin the mech down.
We killed more people.
No. These were all, the buildings actually said conveniently empty building on the side of it.
Oh, thank God.
Free apartments for rent. This was an actual gag of the show, by the way.
We just got Mario 64'd.
So now the mech is pinned down, and you guys can't get out of it. As he's starting to go in like, I just wanted to feel safe. Hide my face from everyone, because, they look at you for the cameras on your phone. Google's always listening on those on their phones. Whenever you say, okay, Google, they're pinging Google headquarters, and they're saying that...
Okay, Google, play bass cannon.
Reverse
Just-
bass cannon.
just everyone listening.
Claudius. Sorry, I had to check your character name.
Hi, that's me.
Claudius, he's listening to pop music. That means they have control of my brain.
Oh, he's talking sense.
The fun conspiracy theories, like thinking fluoride in your toothpaste controls your brains, and not
The
the
birds
bad
work
ones.
for the bourgeoisie.
The birds are
Birds
fake.
work for the bourgeoisie. That's my favorite.
I don't know, this guy's talking sense, huh?
But you gotta go and mess it. I made a perfect place where I knew where everyone was at all times, and that way no big brother could keep an eye on me.
See, now that's where he lost me. He just became Big Brother.
See, I have to quote Star Wars, but this guy doesn't know Star Wars. You've become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Hey.
That's what
Don't you
That's what we're gonna kick your ass.
quote Shakespeare at me.
Don't cite the deep lore, which I was there when it
my
was
Shakespeare.
written.
I never cared for that era of Shakespeare.
Well, then you are lost.
This poor villain doesn't even know what
know, this poor
Star
guy.
Wars is.
No wonder
There's a bunch of
upset.
hooligans just quoting things at him.
But I know what I can do to get back at you guys. If your mech seems to be very similar to mine, so that probably means you probably have problems controlling all the armaments.
Let's lie. Let's tell a lie. We know exactly what we're doing.
No, we're great at this.
There's 4 of us, so we're so good.
He says as he picks up a big building and starts smashing at its head, trying to go, if I hit it right, I can knock one of the buttons, set it off.
Oh no.
That's not good.
And I'm going to actually have him just go again if that's not a problem.
Yeah,
Also
roll
'cause he has
smash
a
to see if
really-
he triggers our time machine. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm rolling plan for this because this is
Yeah,
part
you
of
can
the
trigger the time
plans.
machine.
It's not a very good plan, but it is a plan.
So he epically failed at that task.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Would
So he's
epically
trying
failing
to-
also trigger the time machine, but like in a bad way?
I would say yes.
No.
You know what? Would
Bad
be
for him.
funny.
We just get sent even further into just the heat death of the universe.
Oh, I was thinking the other direction. You get sent all the way back to before the post-apocalypse. So now both of you fly in. You end up landing in the junkyard right next to the real mech.
Oh,
The
God.
original prototype mech when it landed in. With the Mitchel of that... I said Mitchell. The Claudius
all
of
good.
that time. The Claudius of that time, first discovering it. All of a sudden, he's just sort of going like, who sent this? Was this built by, like, the CIA, the FBI? And all of a sudden, another version of it and a tricked out version of it just blast through a time hole and land right next to it.
Oh, man. It's a little trippy.
Now, is this a Back to the Future situation, or like can
This
I
is
just
the
flip
problem.
this guy?
We are...
Like,
Are we ripping
Well,
the space-time continuum?
Do we want to find
I mean, there's
out?
a way of doing this without killing him. Like, the original mech is there, too, and the only thing, of course, will be that he's going to try to stop you from damaging the original, but you do know his last condition, that he's vulnerable to high sound. So if you distract him and smash the, original mech, then the mech can't exist in the future.
Yeah, but then
That's
it won't
true.
exist for us, right?
I have a feeling that we exist as a paradox right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're from another universe. You don't have to worry about that, the
True.
timeline here.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so we can, because we are alternate reality, and
Yeah,
so
we're
we've
on
just
the
been
whole
time
polar
traveling in
branch.
their reality. So yes, we can destroy this one, and we will be fine.
so we can throw
All
on
right,
the
am
music
I getting the
again
subwoofer
to
back?
distract him. Yeah.
So if you're going to try to turn that back on and to see if it distracts him, I'm going to say, you know what? Well, we'll just do brains again this time.
Okay.
To see that you can distract him and then use that opportunity to try to destroy the mech before this Mitchell tries. God damn it. This Claudius tries to use it to fight off. I can't.
It's
don't
just
know
me.
why I keep calling you my real name.
It's just me. It's not even Claudius at this point. It's just me.
I got a 3. I just barely made it.
So you play the music loud, and future Claudius, I almost said it again, future Claudius holds down his head, opening up an opportunity for you guys to smash it. And you know what? I'll just give it. You smash the mech in the past as future Claudius goes, no, as he fades away like the photo in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Leaving
Superhero
nothing behind.
Villain, no.
No. It just fades out. Doesn't even turn to particles.
I like to think we just like flick on a voice changer in the mech, turn over to current time Claudius, just go,
You didn't see shit.
and then
Bounce.
Shush.
The CIA didn't do this. MK Ultra was not real. It was the Russians. Carry on, citizen. Wait, how do we leave?
How do we leave?
We'll just fly out. We'll just fly away.
we're just standing there in the robot, like touching our pointer finger, like,
How do we get out of here?
Well, the question is, do you want to try activating the upgrade you did again?
I can try. Hopefully it'll work.
Wait, hang on. Hang on. Roll down the window a little bit. Toss out the coffee maker.
You got one down there, right?
Oh, yeah, I was here to get one.
Yeah, just toss it right back up. It'll be fine.
Here's what I'll say, actually. Is this you destroying your goals, trying to fix this thing so you can automatically succeed at something?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. You've given up your appliance that you were supposed to fix.
I'm okay with you doing that, but I would want it to work more into the plot somehow. Maybe you use the parts from it to fix the subwoofer or something like that.
Maybe it
to
was
trigger it again.
plugged into the car and
That was the point. It was supposed to be
draining
plugged into the
power from it, you know?
Yes.
And so
it
you're like, oh, this is
rerouted
plugged in the
power
whole
from
time, and you
subwoofer.
unplug it, and just, and now it works. Like,
Oh, yeah, so maybe
Everything's balanced.
to make it, to play on that more, maybe you notice, because you're all like, oh, how do we get out of here? You're like, well, the subwoofer brought this, and then you notice you have it plugged into the subwoofer.
Wait a minute.
It was plugged in, not into a power cable. You just plugged it in, which is probably why it wasn't working.
Like
You plugged it in. Yeah.
It's like when you accidentally plug a power strip into itself.
Yes.
Rip the switch. Yeah, nice.
infinite power.
Yeah.
It works, right? That's how it works.
I kind of like the theme of you throwing the coffee machine out is like maybe you being like hopped up on coffee and not sleeping is what would have turned you into that guy.
I do have coffee-fueled rage. I have coffee-fueled rage as a quality.
Yep. You got to moderate that somehow.
And right after you unplug it, it kind of causes everything sort of to sort itself out. The subwoofer just triggers again, goes through the time stream again, and you just sort of end up right where you were back in the original, I almost said Jersey City, New York City garbage dump.
Hell yeah. Otherwise
That
known as
was
Staten
wild.
Here we are.
I'm sorry.
3 time jumps.
And right as you guys get here, back on the other world, just to give this a nice little bow on it, another
Post-credit
prototype
scene.
gets sent back, but somewhere else. Because they're still trying to fix the future there.
Yeah.
I feel like we screwed everything up even more for the future.
But someone else.
Essentially, we're going to have to go back and
True.
like fight on the human side.
Well, they sent back another prototype, so someone else might be able to save the timeline, that world's timeline, and hopefully they won't be a conspiracy theorist who makes a dystopia.
So that was great. That was fun. We're gonna
That was
take
so fun.
a quick little break, and then we'll come back and talk about it. For the audience, I'm just gonna make a cut now. Okay, we're back. We took our little break. And yeah, as we do on this show when we get to the end of a game, have a little chit chat about game design and all the fun we have. So that was great. That as you described it as like a one shot last minute beer and pretzels kind of game, like I would say you nailed your design objective there,
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you agree on that. It's something that, honestly, it's kind of funny because we had so many incidences. I mentioned this earlier in a game I've been running where people missed. You think after all the time I spent making this, I would have thought to pull this out once, but I did not. But no, I'm glad that worked out because it does seem to be the case, and I've had this a lot. Not everyone can show up. Scheduling, especially since I've become an adult,
The true
college was easier.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Ever since then, I've noticed, scheduling's become much more of an issue. So this really came to mind. And to be honest, originally, We Dig Giant Robots was originally made as a... So this requires just a smidge of backstory. There used to be I think they still run it. Far Horizon used to do like a small games digest. But this one ended up coming in a little too large to fit there at about 72 pages. So it's sort of a mix between a smaller game and like something more major, like some of the stuff I have upcoming or some of the stuff I've already released. I was going to say this earlier, a funny thing about it, and part of also why I had trouble remembering some of this, and I'm sure anyone who's worked in design can agree, you write these things years before anyone else sees them, unless you're like putting out like preview stuff.
Yeah.
Because you make them, you play test them. Then they sit forever because, even if you have a publisher, you got to get the guy, yada, yada, yada. Takes forever.
Formatting and art and
Oh,
graphic design, and there's so many other layers to it, yeah.
So the funny thing is, I had to reread this book today because I haven't actually looked at the text of this in probably months, and I wrote it like probably 1.5 years ago. And so it's just I'm sort of glad though that one, I got this chance because we play tested it and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't not do that,
Right?
Unless you want everything to blow up the second someone rolls dice. But no, so this was a good opportunity there, and you guys were great to play with. And I'm just sort of glad that you all felt that it sort of hit that goal because I'm sputtering out here. Please go.
No, you're good.
You're doing great.
Yeah, like I said, you nailed the vibe. The other thing I was gonna say was I like. It's pretty typical to when you're making like a more minimalist game to just go, D6s. But I like that you're doing the D66 table. I think that really sets it apart from a lot of similar games. Like you said, it's big in Japanese game design. It's not something you see super often around here. This was my first game that I played that had a D66, and I think it was very clever.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if the mechanics and the dice are like the sound of an RPG, there's something about rolling on a D66 table that is like, yeah, it is like a weird punk sound you've never heard in a pop song before. It's
really
a nice
is.
little, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weird, like, kind of avant-garde black sheep of dice types. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I always thought so. I never got a chance to play Made, and Made itself is an interesting game. I'll just say it's something I own. I read. I'm acquaintances with the person who translated it, Ewan Cluley, who's a great person, and I always read it. There's some parts of it that are a little weird, but I've always read the game, and I thought, wow, that's a really clever way of handling, because the armament table that was also came out of Made.
yeah.
Because the Made itself has like I think it's called a random events table. Works exactly like this. And I thought, that's a really clever way of handling sort of a wacky, zany sort of situation where anything can happen. In Made, it's like more, I think it's like items or objects and stuff like that. And here I was like, it's weapons on the mech. That really worked well. And I also just sort of liked the D66. So I'm like, a lot of times in games like this, you'll have to jump out and grab other dice. But the reason why 2d6 always pops up so often in games, and I'm sure everyone listening already knows this, but it's because of Monopoly. Everyone always has a board of it somewhere, and it always has 2 6-sided dice.
Yep.
So really, you're always going to have it. And of course, if you, pulling back here, if you bought this game, you have a ton of dice. This is not an introductory thing, but I like the idea of it's something that, you can just sort of pull out, and even if you just got random dice running around, you can play with it. And this is the D66 table works really well with that.
Like Alex was saying earlier, the cool thing about D6 is +1 or -1 means like that has a lot of weight in the game. So going with those dice also like every action that happens, and we saw this in our game, every action has serious narrative weight. And something I really like that you incorporated with the like kicks too much ass thing. So there's lots of games that have like a yes but mechanic. Like, okay, yeah, you did what you wanted, but there's this other thing. And usually that's for like if you roll a mixed success, like you didn't quite roll as well as you wanted to. I like that you use that as you rolled over, that it's like, oh, you're not in control of this mech and possibly not in control of your own life, because like you're all a bunch of, like you said, hooligans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Usually it's for just under success, like it's Powered by the Apocalypse, like we did. It's usually that middle range where it's like, yes, but it's an interesting way to flip it.
I can't take full credit for the idea there because, and I think I said this earlier, but assuming that doesn't get through on the final recording, that is straight out of Teenagers from Outer Space,
right.
which is one of my more favorite anime games. Just that overdoing it thing. And also, since I mentioned many times the inspiration was Megas, that was just something that happened all the time in the show, too.
Right. They hit the bad guy, but they knocked over a building or whatever. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like they win and then it pans out and the entire city got blown up.
We saved the city.
We saved this timeline.
Great job, Patrick.
Before we wrap up, Mitch or Alex, anything to add?
I enjoyed how easy it was to get into, and like with character creation, it was really fun to kind of design our own knacks and qualities and all of that and have them be of assistance to us. I thought that was really great, and not just picking something from a random table that could potentially work, but we picked stuff that we could actually use, which was great.
That's kind of my biggest thing, like where I was hanging up the most, which was qualities and knacks. Granted, I eventually just looked up like different Fate or Powered by Apocalypse systems to get an idea. So that whole suggestion thing might be a good little addition or addendum or free DLC or whatever you want to put out, like with that,
like a blog on the website or whatever kind of thing. Like here's some ideas, kind of. Yeah.
What I will mention there, that is a good idea, and we could do that. I will say one thing that currently helps in the book, but I do like your idea, is that there is a table of villain qualities that could give you an idea of like what they generally are like. But you're right, I don't have any example hero ones other than the example characters in back.
But other than that, a relatively minor complaint. Other than that, very well done. Absolutely succeeds at what it sets out to do. Definitely awesome. A game to be proud of, and a game we were happy to play. Before we wrap up, Kamala, tell people where can they find the game?
Well, right now, I guess right now, nowhere, because the Kickstarter's ended and we're still in the process between fulfilling it and setting it up. But ideally, once it's done, we're going to be having it on DriveThruRPG and likely mirror it on Itch. I'll have to confirm that with my publisher. DriveThru's helping us fulfill it, but I'm pretty sure we can also mirror it on Itch.
On a digital storefront near you.
Yeah.
That also helps.
And before we go, real quick, Mitch, plug your Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you guys can call me Raptor Blue. That's what I am on Twitch, RAPTRBLUE. We do a lot of games. We do a lot of very thematically heavy stuff and talk about it. We do Black history. We do African history. We do random reacts to some people on the internet that aren't always the most pleasant to watch. So we always put a warning up. But ultimately, we're just a really nice community who are a bunch of friends who come together. And then I come here and I play games with Alex and all these wonderful people.
Yeah, definitely give Mitch a follow. Links for all of this stuff in the description. And then if you're looking for more of Alan, watch the previous episode of this show. We played his game, The Long Road Ahead. And then if you're looking for more of me and other Alex, watch most other videos on this channel where we play a bunch of other systems. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments if you can't think of anything else to leave. Just comment the name of your favorite giant robot from media. If it helps out the algorithm.
Megatron.
And tell us why it is Cherno Alpha.
Ooh,
What's
that's a deep cut. That's from
Big
Pacific
Sam.
Rim.
It's a Game Grumps reference more than anything. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back eventually with another one of these with a bunch of other stuff in the meantime. So, everybody, bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.